Welcome back to Catholic Bible Channel. I've been under the weather the last few weeks, like half of America, and was unable to post, but I'm more than ready to post a review of the Great Adventure Premium Catholic Bible. I've spent about 40 hours or so with the Great Adventure, and I feel comfortable enough to give you some feedback and pointers on what makes this Bible so good. We'll start off with the basic facts, which you can see here. I'd like to point out a couple of these facts, like the color coding learning system is very useful. It's kind of the whole Great Adventure Bible timeline. There's a new edition of color-coded catechism references, which makes this Bible very special and unique. There's also 19 helpful charts throughout. I'll show you a couple. There's new footnotes at the start of every new book of the Bible. And then we have the fancy stuff that comes with the premium edition, like the goatskin, the premium stitching, the 40 GSM paper, gilded edges, and the nicer ribbons. Now, a lot of that stuff is just kind of words. Like, I don't think many of us know what GSM 40 GSM paper actually is. I could just tell you it's really, really nice. So let's get to it. So the aesthetics are great. I think this has been seen 100 times, but it really does feel great in the hands. The hubs are very, very nice. The ribbons are much nicer. But I think all of that is really secondary to the paper itself. The paper is what makes this Bible so convenient to read. Even in dim light settings, the ink on the paper really does pop, and I cannot speak to how much that improves the overall experience of reading a Bible. My biggest apprehension in reading the Bible is two things: is the text size and, frankly, the paper quality. And this is a real home run. This paper is excellent, and it is my understanding that you don't need the premium Bible to get this really nice paper. You can get it at the $40 range, the paperback version of the Bible. So please do consider that, because this new paper is much, much better than the first edition. I'd like to take a second here to show you the Great Adventure timeline. This is what makes the Bible different than others. You could see you have your narrative books at the top, and all these other books are supplemental books. So if you wanted to read the entire story, the narrative of salvation history, they actually give you a 3-month reading plan that covers just that top row of books. And you really can do that within 3 months, about 3 chapters a day. So it's not going to be too much of a burden. Now, you're not going to read all 73 books of the Bible that way, but you could at least get the story. And that's really cool. So I highly recommend checking that out. The different colors represent different parts of the Great Adventure. For example, the early world, in Genesis, the creation of the world, the turquoise represents what a visual of Earth from outer space would look like if you think of a globe. It kind of has that bluish turquoise color. The brown represents desert wanderings, because the Israelites are wandering in the desert. The exile represents singing the blues of Babylon, because they're held in the Babylonian captivity. I think they call this orange. To me, it looks almost like red. Represents the oil that's in the lamp of the Maccabees. That ends up being the holiday of Hanukkah, and so forth. So once I learned most of these narrative books and what they represent, the colors, it does help to sort of recall, if you hear a reading at Mass, oh, that's from the Conquest and Judges era, or that's from the Maccabean revolt. Like, it kind of does help you jump back to the story itself, and that really is the point of the timeline. Next, what I find really impressive, that is not really talked about too often, is let me rephrase that. It's not really talked about at a level where most people can understand is the story, within the story of the Bible, is this notion of covenants. In my opinion, this these summaries of the 6 major covenants in the Bible is worth the price of the Bible alone. So, having read the introductions to each covenant, which there are 6 major covenants in the Bible, from Adam to Noah to Abraham to Moses to the Davidic kingdom, and finally to Jesus, I really felt like I was able to grasp a better understanding of why the covenants matter and how they can help you better understand salvation history. So let me just give you one. Again, this is all from here, okay? Let me just give you one brief example. This Bible, when they explain the covenants, explains that the covenants grows as humanity grows. For example, the first covenant was with a couple, Adam and Eve. And then we have a covenant with Noah, which is a whole family. So we have a growth from a couple to a family, to Abraham, which is a tribe, to Moses, which is a holy nation, to David, which is a kingdom, to Jesus, which is, well, the entire world. These covenant introductions are placed where they show up in the Bible. So the first one's at the beginning, because it's the creation story of Adam and Eve, and they're not that long. They're actually a couple of pages. So this one's just 1 page. The other ones are maybe 1 or 2 pages each. But in my opinion, if you want to learn how the covenants really play a factor in our salvation, this is the best source for it. And here's the thing. I hope you buy one of these Bibles, even if it's the paperback version, because it's worth it just based off that alone. But if you just want to, we'll say, try before you buy, download the Ascension app, because all of this information is free on the app. You could read all the articles. You could look at the charts. You can really have the experience. I personally don't like reading the Bible on my phone, but if that's the only option I have, it's worth doing. So give it a few minutes, go download that app, because it really is worth your time. Now, what's next and special about this Bible is throughout the entire Bible, you have the different parts of the Great Adventure timeline. Each part has an introduction. These introductions are a little bit longer. So if you really wanted like a very condensed version, now you're not reading the Bible this way, but if you really wanted a condensed version of salvation history, if you just go and read each one of these introductions, that's going to give you the story. It tells you the background, the significance, the major players in the story, and so forth. So that's the example of the Maccabean revolt. So when we flip forward to the Messianic fulfillment, you're going to get a summary of the impact of this part of the Bible as well. Okay, so it's laid out the same, and it's very easy to follow. If you just went and read those introductions, you're going to have a pretty good handle on the Bible. Okay. In addition, these introductions contain a couple of different things. It tells you what the book is about, who wrote it. It tells you what's going on in secular history at the time. And it tells you some other major events that are happening along the way in the Bible. So each one of these different colors has an introduction. This new Great Adventure, a second edition Bible, also has one addition that is really, really impressive. So this is not found in the first edition. If you look at the bottom, we have our red letters. That was found in the first edition. And if you look at the bottom down here, you have all your references that you'll find in your regular RSV Bible. But there's a new edition here. This edition actually references the Catechism of the Catholic Church. So if you see these in color down here, these are referencing the Catechism of the Catholic Church. So give me 1 second so I could show you an example. If I were to read John chapter 6, verse 53, So Jesus said to them, "Truly, truly, I say to you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I will raise him on the last day." Pretty powerful verses. The Bread of Life discourse requires a lot of thought, a lot of prayer, and if you wanted to see what the Catechism of the Catholic Church has to say about this, this is John chapter 6, verse 53. I can just go down here, John chapter 6, verse 53, and they have some references for verse 54 as well, and a whole bunch of verses. This is an important chapter in the Bible. So I actually have an older edition of the Catechism that was put out by Ascension Press. So if I were to look for that verse, it tells me down here where to look. Telling me to go to paragraph 1384, and there I have paragraph 1384, and it's talking about the Bread of Life discourse. Now, this would correspond to any modern day catechism. It doesn't have to be from Ascension, but Ascension there's color coded, and those color codes also match up here. So that's pretty slick, and that's new. I haven't used that as a resource too much just yet, but I can tell you, this has become sort of like a reference Bible to the Catechism, not just a Bible to learn salvation history. Well, the aesthetics speak for themselves, so I won't spend too much time on that, but if you don't remember anything else from this review, please know, understanding the covenants is key to understanding the Bible. Jesus made a covenant with us. He is the new and everlasting covenant. And to fully grasp that, you first have to grasp the first covenant with Adam and Eve. More than any other source, this Bible has allowed me to better understand that part of our salvation history. This Bible gets my enthusiastic 2 thumbs up. I highly recommend it. The premium Bible's great, but the very, very nice paper is found in the 2nd edition, even at the lesser price. So please consider it. If nothing else, download the Ascension app. Go read those introduction to the covenants. Go ponder, go think, go pray, and just appreciate where we are right now, where you can get all of this information that's found in here for free, assuming you have a device like a smartphone or iPad. It's really, really special and very, very useful. So that's the review for the Great Adventure Premium Catholic Bible. Thank you for your time. Please like and subscribe. Let me know if you want a comparison to the 1st edition, where we can do like a side-by-side comparison. I read that one a few years back, so they're more the same than they are different, but they do have some differences. Having said that, do rejoice that Christ is Lord. I hope to hear from some of you guys soon, and we'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye.